everyone, it's Tambarambaa here today, and I am sharing with you my latest for Art by Marlene, which is this gorgeous bold and bright florally inspired page. So first of all, I grabbed a piece of the art journal from my perfect size album, ABM-ES-ACP04, and what I did is I love this paper that is in the new Bold and Bright paper pack, which is ABM-BB Scrap 79, and I really love those colours and then that white script over the top. So what I did with just using a lead pencil, I've simply scribbled out a really loose floral shape just on the top half of the page, and then I will use that as the basis and the focal point for this piece. So because the piece I cut out didn't actually have a lot of blue left in it, I kind of used more of a pink and a yellow section. I've grabbed some of the Mermaid paint, which is ABM-ES-ACP04, and the Azure, which is ACP15, and I'm just creating a background, painting some straight onto my page. I'm actually using Marlene's new brushes, which I love. Great quality, the bristles are awesome, and I love that they're acrylic handles, not wood, so if I accidentally leave them in my water I won't wreck them. Anyway, I'm just putting my paint onto my page and then letting it run with lots of water so that I get drips, and I've also come in with some flicks of paint as well. So now I've grabbed one of her newest stamp sets, which is called Mixed Media Play, which is ABM-ES-ACP131. This is awesome. It's got lots of backgroundy shapes. It's going to be something I use all the time. So I've used a bit of Ballet, which is a pink paint, ACP03, and I've stamped, there is a little dotty sort of stamped background image in there, so I've stamped that randomly around the page, and then I have come in with a purple, which is the Punk from the Neons, and it is ACP23, and I'm also stamping, there's a zigzaggy background stamp in there, so I'm just stamping that, and every now and then I'm holding my flower that I've cut out back over the page just to make sure that colour is where I want it to be, because I just don't want to cover all of it up. I want you to actually see some of what I'm doing. So I've grabbed the Happy paint, which is ACP05, which is yellow, and I started off doing a few circles because that's often what I do when I don't know what to do, and then I've just added a bit more water and again let that run a bit and just created a bit more yellow into my background. Now, just to give this sort of a real grungy background, a really strong background to put that focal point onto, I've grabbed this stamp called Writing on the Wall, which is ABM-ES-ACP76. And I really love this one. It's got all the grungy letters, and I like that they're capitals because that goes really well contrasting with the script that's on the floral paper. So now all I did is stick that on with the sticky glue, which is ABM-ES-Glue01, and then I'm actually creating some depth behind that flower. So I come in with some Smurf paint, which is the deeper blue, ACP10, love that colour, and I also come in again with a bit of Punk, which was the purple, and a bit of Ballet, which is the pink. And I may have even added more Azure, but you'll just see I'm actually using it both as some definition underneath the flower, so it looks like it's actually looks like the flower is sitting on top of it, but I'm also using it to go around the edge of the actual floral shape, because I want it to look hand-drawn, scribbly. I want it to not look too perfect. So what I did is I came in with the pitch paint, which is ACP02, and instead of actually brushing it on with a brush, I've actually used the tube as a drawing utensil, as like a big texter, and just simply scribbled around the edge. And I really love the way that is making that all sort of come together. So what I do is I actually create a smaller looking flower straight on top, in exactly the same way. Okay, so I'm loving where this is starting to head, and what I've done is I've noticed in that new Mixed Media Play stamp set there's some what do I call it, bullseye kind of shapes, so they look perfectly stamped straight onto those circles, makes them look like they belong there. So I did that using a acrylic block, And now I think it's time to add a little bit of detail. So I've come in with the rub-ons, and these are the rub-on transfers, ABM-ES Rub 01, and I'm simply using the end of those beautiful brushes. Each of those brushes has an acrylic handle, which not only means that if you accidentally leave them in your water, like me, if not very good at cleaning, it won't wreck the brushes, but it's also really handy for like making scribbles in your paint, or in this instance I use it to rub on those rub-ons. As I said, I really liked the way that flower was becoming a bit grungy, so I've just let that paint dry and then repeated that process, and then I've decided those leaves look so beautiful that I'm just going to come in with a paint pen and add a few of my own to the background, just so it's kind of like it's following that paint, dripping down. The leaves are kind of flowing down the page. Then with that pitch paint, I have come in and done just a bit of mark making, a few more splats and just making a few marks. And I've simply then also taken it and rubbed it around the edge of my work, and that just gives it a really nice frame. It just pulls it all together and frames your work. So I often do that, and I often do come over, and I think I do this, but I did do it off camera, and just add a little scribble with a black pen around the edge as well. So at this point I've discovered a gorgeous little number stamp in that stamp set, and I'm just popping that into the background as well, and that's I'm really happy with where that's gone. So what I've done here, this is that gorgeous punk paint, which is the purple in the neon, and I really love the depth that this colour brings. It actually lifts all the other colours and looks particularly awesome on blues and aquas and pinks. So I've just added a little bit more. As I stood back, I felt like maybe there was not enough colour down the sort of towards the bottom of the page, so I've come in with a little bit of the pink and a little bit of the purple just to add a bit more oomph. So this will show some close-ups for you, so you can see some of the background and that grungy look that it has. So I really love this page, and you could do it with all different shapes, not just flowers, but all different kinds of shapes. So thanks so much for joining me, and you know what, I'd love if you subscribe.